welcome back to the channel. I got an overview of this laser system setup that I got going on here. I'm going to try to keep it as short as I can, but I got a lot of notes here that I want to go through. In my time having used this setup, I've collected some knowledge about it and some things that I want to make known to you guys. This is a very high performance setup. But it does have its drawbacks, and we'll get into that. But so first, I'm just going to give you guys an overview of what I got here. So up top, I got a Holosun LE117IR, a Modbutton dual lead that's hooked up to a Surefire plug here, where I have my Z-Bolt LED IR illuminator, and then I have a Malkoff E1 HT V2 on a air socket light body. But well, I'll get into the mounts too. So I have a T-Rex Arms light bar here, manufactured by Arisaka as well, and then a Arisaka inline M-LOK mount here on my illuminator. All right, so getting right into pros and cons of the setup. This illuminator is incredible. It's on par, if not better, than B. Myers Mole, or the more direct comparison would be Steiner D-Ball D2, because that's also an LED infrared illuminator. In my experience, I've taken this setup to a few night shoots. I've shot night vision match with it. I've gone to Night Fighter at Ridgeline Defense with it, where there were a few other people with D-Ball D2s, with Mauls, with Raid XEs, or Wilcox Raid XEs, and this illuminator was on par, if not better, than all of them. And you'll see in the demo video that I show you guys, but we'll get to that in a little bit. So incredible illumination. This is kind of me. This might be a reaching for something, but decentralized battery power. What I mean by that is that each one of these system lights, lasers, whatever, is independently powered. They have their own battery. So if something goes down, if my illuminator goes down, I can still use my laser. If my laser goes down, I can at least still use my illuminator and my red dot. Another great thing, if you're budget minded, it can be put together over time. It's modular. You know, you can basically set it up however you want, almost. I think one thing that you might hang you up is that the laser overhangs on the left side of the rail, just by design. I guess that's what they had to do to get the laser over the bore, which, getting into another pro, fantastic. I love having my lasers co-aligned with my barrel. It makes zeroing much easier, especially if you're shooting with a parallel zero. Obviously it's just directly above the bore. You don't have to, do anything weird with the gun. You don't gotta tilt it to the side to try to get the laser over the bore like you would with a Maul or with a PEQ 15 or whatever, or with whatever other laser you choose. That's gonna be where the laser's not coaxially aligned with the barrel. So there's no lateral offset that you got to consider when you're shooting it. It's also very easy to figure out how your height over bore. If you know the distance between the center of your barrel and your and the top Picatinny rail, and then you find out how high above the rail your laser is. Like in this case, it's 1.75 inches, so that's 1 3/4 inches. The laser's 1 3/4 inches above the barrel. So all I have to do is, when I'm zeroing, just adjust my point of impact to be 1.75 inches lower than where I'm pointing my laser at. So I like that a lot. It makes zeroing very easy for me. Some of the cons. The Holosun QD mount is not great. Not really a fan of it. It's very easy to open up to open up the latch there, all you got to do is just press this. There's a tiny button right back there. But that's why I got it zip tied. It's basically zip tied closed, so that even if, in the event that the button, albeit very small, in the event that the button was hit or something, it's not going to come off because I have that the zip tie there. I'd also like to note that, hopefully the Holosun Iris 1, that's going to be the direct replacement, at least for this, or the Holosun LS 117 IR. The Iris 1 IR, it's just got I think it's a thumb screw mount, or cross bolt or whatever. And it's also cheaper. So in the future, whenever that comes out, substitute the Iris 1 for this. Or it's also, the Iris 1 is also lighter from what they've claimed. Another pretty big downside is that this setup is heavy. The laser and the illuminator alone, leaving out the white light, it's 12.8 ounces without the white light, which doesn't sound too bad. In comparison, the D-Ball D2 is 11.9 ounces. B.E. Myers Mall is 11.04 ounces. But those options are both considerably more expensive than this setup that I have here. Another not necessarily a downside, you can do it, but aligning the laser in the center of the illuminator can be a little tricky. What I found was if I align my mount, the amount of my illuminator, basically as straight as I can along the rail, then the laser ends up being pretty close to the center of the illuminator. So I was able to get that to work pretty well. And the last con is going to be switch reliability. I don't know if it's the mod button itself or if it's the Surefire plug and the Surefire UE tail cap that I got here. But it can be a little finicky. I believe I've heard it said that the Surefire tail cap and plug, they tend to wear out very quickly. So my suggestion for that would be to either get the Unity Tactical gas cap or with the USB-C, or using their new Link USB-C system, whatever it is, and either another mod button that would work with that, or the Unity Tactical Axon button, which is basically the next generation of their hot button. And or Z-Bolt also sells a crane plug tail cap, and they also sell Unity Axon buttons, but they're dual lead crane plugs. So you can have a crane lead in your laser and a crane lead for your illuminator. Yeah, so I think this setup works best on shorter guns, 10.5 to 12.5 inch barrel, or 10.5 inch rail in this case is what I have it on. That's what this Dana Fensburg 3 is. I think due to the length of the rail, if it's too long, you're going to have trouble accessing the white light here. I mean, if you're running a 300 series white light with a tail cap, if you're not running that, you can you're able to move the white light a little further back if you're running like a Surefire M600 or whatever similar style light where it's longer than a 300 series light like this. So the tail caps can be further back because the light is longer out front. If you are setting it up on a gun longer than, say, longer than a 12.5 inch rail, I would use a remote switch for that, or run an 18650 type light, or like an M6 Surefire M600, like I just said. So my final thoughts. We'll start with price. If you buy all this on sale. It should be right around $1,000. I think I got all this for about $912. Like I said, I bought it all on sale. You know, that's another benefit of being able to build it over time. We can wait for sales, wait for things to go on sale. You don't have to spend it all in one place. So about $912. They're just half the price of a D-Ball D2 and less than a third of the price of a B. Myers Mall. Probably about a third of the price of a Wilcox Raid XE. I think those are $3,300, $3,500, $3,400, something like that. If you wanted to go even cheaper, the Holosun LS 117 IR is cheaper than the LE 117 IR. You could substitute the Z-Volt illuminator with one of Arisaka or Malkoff's IR heads. I believe they just came out with some new ones, so you guys should go check those out on Arisaka Defense's website. Instead of using two mounts, you could buy the Arisaka dual M-lock or dual. It's an M-lock mount where you can mount two lights on it side by side. It's basically for the price of one of these mounts. It's $45. So you're buying one mount instead of two. And you could go with the Unity Tactical Axon SL dual lead switch as opposed to the Mod Button Light. The Mod Button Light is $149. The Axon SL dual lead is $117. So you're going to save a little money there as well. But that's about it, guys. I'm going to switch on over to the demo footage for you. I hope you found this insightful, informational, helpful. If you did, please drop a like, leave a comment, subscribe. That would all really help me out. Thanks. All right, guys, we're at my local field here. I'm just going to give you a demo of the Z-Volt LED IR illuminator. So this is going to be the illuminator on its widest setting. See a little bit of shadow from my can here. Cat back a little bit. There we go. All right, so you guys saw in the intro, it gets pretty wide. I haven't really felt the need to get a diffuser for it or anything. You saw me shooting at a match, a indoor match with it, and it worked just fine on this wide setting. I'm gonna go ahead and focus it now. So basically it gets down to spotlight. Z-Volt advertises that it reaches out to 1,000 yards. It's pretty wild. I freaking love this thing. Back wide again. There you go. All right. That's it, guys. Techno dude.